Hello again. If you want to be a fancy star in the sky, well, it's only a matter of time because, well, of course there's some sort of shady organisation that is lurking back in the shadows wanting to turn you into a constellation. Entirely how or why is debatable. But as we saw before, you can't break down the gates of heaven with kindness alone, so why not go full throttle genocide? Second best option, obviously. Let's see if the songs of our team can really hold back the forces of the... I don't know what they are. Whatever it is, the Illuminati are really struggling if they've only got, like, what, 3 members left? But we have to see if the knowledge of the Old Ones and heaven itself is secure, with a little bit of light singing. So strap in, get a drink, grab your mother, and let's go. Starting off with a... okay. Starting off with an apology and everything, despite how successful they just were at taking down one of the Illuminati. Just don't overwork yourself, delving into memories for one thing, working tirelessly night and day to coming up with linker recipes and the likes. That wasn't a good bit of teamwork right there. However, Sebastian is on a whole different wavelength to her. You know, what may come naturally to some is going to be a little difficult when she just chucks a bladed football at your face. Even if they are in a safe environment like the VR training center. But out of all of the possible training movies that Hibiki would be watching, do you have any, let's say, recommendations? Not because I want to learn how to do martial arts better, but movies like The Raid and stuff are actually somewhat entertaining. I do like the various things that have been broached in this season. You know, considering how much they've gone through in the past and how much they've each had to grow and overcome. Now, poking and prodding into like Chris's history and backstory back before she kind of was taken in and taken advantage of by Finney and whatnot. Yeah, maybe that's the reason. Don't let Tsubasa take the lead. You know, swap the roles around, see what happens there. The real test is starting now. Well, that's the encouragement she needed. I mean, does he get paid, you know, sick pay? I think the health insurance here would probably be quite good. And much like I think I mentioned before, at least it seems familiar, you don't want to start a feel-good song with the lyrics of genocide. Behind you all along. Don't get pulled into his gear, his rhythm. Phrasing. Just blanket the whole area. Yeah. How dare you? Training's over. But she's going to have to pay for his jacket. Once again, you know, going up against human targets isn't exactly easy. I did wonder how they were going to utilize some characters, considering others managed to get the spotlight, having them fall behind the others and have that dilemma. Ah, right. Thank you. And how are they going to be using the ley lines for us to see this time? Paperwork. Is this vacation time? You know, training all day, every day when you're not getting results is going to put a bit of a damper on things. So now, yeah, out training in the field while getting to see shrines. Let's hope they don't get ambushed along the way. I wonder what the sound was. I thought it was interference on her pad, not opening a bag of snacks. Now, but yeah, one thing that doesn't quite work in English, but oh, yeah. What was I saying? It doesn't quite work in English, but having kanji with multiple readings and how you do it is fun because you can have several. I did wonder where Tsubasa was, but riding alongside on a motorbike, that makes sense. Multiple readings and meanings in a name. That's quite a few layers to it. Yeah, I keep getting distracted. Of all the shrines I've seen, not bad. Well, let's hope nothing happens to disrupt the peace around here. Oh, just layer on the devastation immediately. Nice. Oh, how nice to see you. By the way, my granddaughter died horribly. Pick one. A joke? He really has a way of conversation, doesn't he? To be fair, trading devastating family stories is probably better than any sort of icebreaker I've had to take part in. Hourglass. Ah, we're going constellations. Of course we're going constellations. If it wasn't a constellation, we wouldn't have anything to go on. And is that a lot more than metaphorical or folklore? But that can take, rest for another time. That's one way of saying that she's slightly peckish. Quiche. Chris really just, he's being nice and providing them with a free meal, but like, quiche? Really? At least do something better than that. Can't really say much considering my reaction to hearing quiche. Sharing a drink with the fallen. And putting in no effort of his own while doing so. Well, make the most of it while they had it, I think. While I like their gusto right now, don't think they're in the right sleeping positions. In the right place or frame of mind to really put too much hurt down. Once again, the history of this series cropping up, even if it was only a brief line or two. Is it time for another priestly joke? One that might help with her inner turmoil. Rather than, hold on to it completely. Make a deposit, a donation if you will, and maybe the gods will step in. Clap 3 times? Oh, twice, okay. That's one way of saying it. The amount of times we've seen visits to shrines and whatnot in other anime, usually slice of life stuff, is so damn high, actually. Well, she managed to mimic fairly well. Well, take what you do know, extrapolate that out to other situations outside of your comfort zone. It's the best way to broach that. I do love how troubled she is and unable to sleep, trying to do anything to get slightly better, while the other, couldn't care less, just complete dreamland. What is the metaphor he's going to use here? So, Is Tiki going to become their very own, like, Pinocchio story? Baseball team? I don't think they're going to be too adverse to speaking out about it. Really? At least there's some bubbles there. And well, I was going to say, her launching an attack like that not out of nowhere, but why not? Good to see her standing up against him. But is her disintegration going to come sooner? Not the frog! Oh, okay. Screw the frog, apparently. Thank you for her placement and not moving out of the way, but... Right, so on the way to warn Saint Germain and what? Yeah, they're gonna step in. She's not gonna know just to... hang on a bit. I'm not here to fight you. You might not believe me. Oh, okay. Yeah, if she's just crushing everything in the way, maybe they'll be less open to conversation. What about those that have already vanished? There we go, okay. Very much like Tsubasa to dash off and try and handle things on her own. I do love the sound audio work for that. Yeah. If they opened up a nice starting to a conversation immediately, just asking what you're doing, maybe don't immediately attack, just like, I need to warn them, there's inner turmoil in our group, we're dying off. Which means you already have the basis of it. Considering their backstory of how they kind of brought into this world after amnesia, storylines, etc., it is not surprising in the slightest. Ah, so you've heard of her. Well, that cuts down on story time a little. Well, with that in mind... the themes of this really aren't being hidden all too much, are they? But like what we saw in Maria's mind, what was being told about where she gets the power from, etc. Oh, wow. Is she going to slow down for the corners or just go straight through? Pit maneuver? Neat. She got some Bodicea spikes going on there. Basically, I agree. Good to see that the center of gravity for that thing is fairly far back. Ah, yes, water's one weakness. Saw blades. You know, much like most of the conflicts in not only this show, but whatever. Ha! It could be sorted out so much easier with a little communication. Now we're getting into like a chariot duel. Shout it a bit louder so they can hear. How long before the pencil works? There we go. In fear for her friend and whatnot, unable to really think clearly on how to get that across. Ah, that's a helpfully placed telephone. Run over like a frog on the highway. Beautifully said. Definitely just run off by herself. No provocation or anything there. The walls are closing in. The so much aforementioned walls. So now that, you know, she's alone, the teammates are roadkill. What's keeping her, you know, on the path with sticking with Adam? Other than maybe just, you know, fear of consequences / wanting to overthrow the shackles of the world. Well, we've come this far now. Is it a case of, you know, sunk cost fallacy? Just what is a life worth? Adam actually explaining that quite well. Maybe not for good reasons, but still. Yeah, having Chirabe grow as a character. I would like if they kind of got stretched out a bit more than issue comes up, episode and a half later, resolved. But it is nice how they are growing. Just look for any that have taken recent phone calls. Are they going to have a lookout left here? I mean, if you're going to get a good luck gift medallion thing, great. I was talking for a while without realising I hadn't pressed record. So, yeah, I really should have said something when I had that brief moment that flashed into my mind. Especially after we heard him say, oh, I had a granddaughter about your age, parents died in a horrible car accident, blah, blah, blah. And the flashback to what we saw Shirobei earlier. Don't remember the name, don't really remember anything, but here's a little lanyard with a possible help on it. I wonder if that's ever going to be mentioned again at all. Or if it was just a brief glimpse. Here's a possible life you could have had. But sucks for you. Must be nice talking to a possible relative, though. Maybe get some blood work done. But Symphogear, like I alluded to, I do like that it brings up an issue that one of the characters has, and then they work towards bettering themselves to come out the other end and fix themselves and grow. I would like if it took a little more than just an afternoon to get it done. But while the rest of the story is going on, maybe little wins here and there is probably better. I'm not a storyteller or a writer, so who am I to critique? Yeah, the path to hell being paved with good intentions, the Illuminati gang wanting to better the world and overcome the issues that they've struggled with or had happened to them, while also not really worrying about who they crushed in the process. The trail of flames on the highway being a visual representation of that. I do find it weird that Adam is, we can power some stuff with the life energy, the life force of your team members, while simultaneously being, we just have to fuck off and go and die. Doesn't really matter, it doesn't do much. So which is it? Do you need the life energy power or not? Was it just a bonus? Well, who am I to argue with the grand plan of the universe and horoscopes? If only she had been a Gemini, maybe things would have been different. But I really can't stop seeing how Tiki fawns over that Adam guy, much like how I remember early on, or in Overlord, having Albedo very much infatuated with our dear leader, Skeleton Boy. Kind of feels like that artificially boosted his charisma in her eyes. Again, with a physique like that and the gusto to have your tackle dangling out in front of everyone, who could resist that charm? Who knows, maybe I'll get more views on my videos if I record letting the wind bristle through my thighs. And with that horrific image now put into my head, and probably yours as well, maybe it's time for a break. Just try to remember the music in this episode, the fact that Shirobei is now being able to work with more than just one, and visually seeing that. The team being able to intermingle with one another, be able to sortie out onto missions without worrying about who's on break or able to work too well together. Might get some interesting musical interludes and whatnot. If that's the case and you've enjoyed, let me know. Leave a like and a comment down below. Consider subscribing to the channel to not miss out. Maybe even jump onto my Discord to make sure for any notifications, polls and votes, memes. I'm sure there's something else of value. Definitely not trying to talk to me, though. Who wants to do that? But get yourselves a bit of rest, because I hope to see you for the next one. My patrons are the ones that are dragging me back to the training zone and making sure that I at least attempt to resonate with everyone. Unfortunately, I'm just a moron watching anime, so I'm not exactly sure how I can help. But I do need to thank Sal, AGSTR, Darky26, Guado, Kite, Reds Racer, Ultra Pouring, Wolfie Sensei, Zug, and everyone else For if it wasn't for them, my channel would just be a fireball on the motorway.